In this video I'll be showing you some ways you can display your images more efficiently. What you want to avoid is making people who view your website download images that are too large. This will slow down your website and give your viewers a poor experience when they view your website. I shall show you how to reduce the size of your image files using tiny PNG. Also, I'll show you how you can use imagekit to dynamically get images of the correct size. I will show you how imagekit can help you serve images of the correct size no matter what the device pixel ratio is. If you don't understand about device pixel ratio, SRC set and sizes, please view my previous video for an explanation and an example. Anyway, let's get started. Here I am in Visual Studio Code, which is my favourite text editor. I have my usual setup. I have an index.html file and a script.js and a styles.css. The index.html has a link to the styles.css, and there is a script tag with a source of script.js, which is this script file here, which is the JavaScript file. I also have an extension in Visual Studio Code called Live Server, which enables me to run a web server locally on my PC so I can view my web pages. I can run the web server by clicking at the bottom of the page here. I also have a folder called Images where I have all the images for the gallery. I'm going to create an image gallery, and I'm going to start with the HTML. To start with, I'll start with a container div, so it's dot container, and I'm going to put an h1 and call it my gallery, and then I'm going to create a div with a class of gallery, so dot gallery, and this will be filled in by the JavaScript. I'm also going to create a modal below it, so this is going to have a class of modal. It's going to be another div, and it's going to have an image tag. I'm going to fill these in, but I'm going to give it a class of selected image. Next, I'll do the script.js for the JavaScript. So constant gallery equals document dot query selector is dot gallery. Got to close this, that's it, to make it easier to see. And then for let I equal 1, I is less than 11, I plus plus. So we're going to loop through all the images, and then I'm going to create constant image equals document dot create element. This is to create an image tag. And next I'm going to do image.src equals, I'll call this images for the images folder, then dogs should be Should be backticks. Dash $I dot JPG, and then image dot alt equals dogs dash $I. And then image dot class list dot add gallery img. Right, so what it does is loop 10 times, and it creates an image tag, then sets the source and the alt, and it adds the class gallery img to the image. And lastly, gallery dot append child image. So if I save that, we now have all the images, but the gallery needs to be styled yet. So I go to the styles.css, delete this, and then for the body I'm going to set it to font family is sans serif, and then H1 is text align center, and dot container is max width 1600 px, and padding is 50 pixels and 20 pixels, and the margin is 0 auto, so that's to center it. Looks a mess at the moment, but it'll come right. Do dot gallery. We're going to make this a grid. Display grid, and grid template columns. I'm going to repeat, and then auto fit, comma, then min max 320 pixels 1 FR. So what the auto fit does is it expands the image to fit the available space, and then we have a limit on the space which is between 320 pixels and 1 FR. So the maximum is 1 FR and the minimum is 320 pixels. So next we do grid gap of 30 pixels, and then we do dot gallery img, so that has a max width of 100% and a border radius of 10 pixels and a height of 260 pixels. Then object fit is cover, Position is relative. And then transition transform 250 milliseconds. And cursor is pointer. Yeah, you can see him now. So the transition will occur when I hover over the image. So I'll do dot gallery img dot hover and then transform. I want it to get a bit larger, so I'm going to do scale 1.1 and I'm going to give it a box shadow. I'm going to give it a brownie shadow. So it's 3px, 3px, 10px, RGB 194 65 12. So this needs to be, instead of a dot, it should be a colon. So control this, save that. Now it does that. I'll expand it. Right, minimize that. So that's the gallery. Next I need to create the modal. I already have the HTML for the modal, so I go to script.js and inside here I'm going to create image.add event listener, click modal dot style dot transform equals scale 1. And selected image.src equals images dogs dash $I dot jpg. Right, so I'm going to make it so that when you want to close the image modal, just click on it. So modal dot add event listener, click, then modal dot style dot transform equals scale 0. So this will shrink it. and we'll put the modal.source back to nothing, and modal.alt also back to nothing. So here this scale 1, the transform, it expands the image from nothing to full size, and this shrinks it back down again when we close it. I need to do some CSS first. So I go to styles.css, down here do dot modal for the modal class, and position fixed, then top naught, left naught, right naught, and bottom naught. This will cause the modal to spread across, right across the screen. And then they're going to set a background color, which is going to be an RGBA. It's going to do it so as it's got a sort of frosted glass effect with a sort of brown tint to it. So this is going to give a faint brown tint. So 194 65 12 0.2, and this is backdrop filter and blur 10px. That will cause the frosted glass effect. Display flex. This will help center it. So you can do display flex, then justify content center to center it horizontally, and then align items will center it vertically as well. And then transform scale 0. So initially it's you can't see it, and then you transition 300 milliseconds, transform. Padding 50px. And lastly, do dot selected image, make it max height 100%. So now, like that, if I select an image, it doesn't work. I'll go into DevTools. Right, I'm missing a reference modal. I'm also missing a reference to selected image. So what I'll do is I'll go into script.js, and then at the top here I need to constant modal equals document dot query selector to dot modal, and constant selected image equals document dot query selector dot selected image. Try it again. So now it works. So the image gallery works now, but the images are quite large and I'd like to get them smaller. We can use tiny PNG, which is a website, to get them smaller, which is what we'll do next. So I head over to tinypng.com, tinypng.com here, and then go to my folder the dogs, select them all, and then drag them across to here. Now it's compressing them. See, this one's finished. It was 2 megabytes. Now it's 699.3 kilobytes. So it's down 65%, and this one's down 72%. So you get quite a saving from this, putting it through tinypng.com. I'll speed the video up so you don't have to spend so much time watching it. Try dogs 8 and 9 failed. I'll try dogs 8 and 9 again. Then I've got to click on download all. It'll download all my files. Put it in the download folder, so I'll cut this, take it to my folder, and an images folder. I'll paste it there, and then extract all, and I'll rename this as compressed. If I go look in there, I have all my smaller images, and then I can go back to script.js, I've got the compressed file here, so all I need to do is change this images to compressed dogs, and here compressed dogs, and now I'm using the compressed images, and they should be faster. However, we can do better than just using the compressed images. If we go over to imagekit.io, and if you sign up for an account, I'm going to log in. Right, and then it should take you to your dashboard. And then if you go to media library, the images I'm going to use are in a folder called large images. So I'm going to click on that, and these are my images that I'm going to use. If you want to upload images, all you do is you click on this new button, and then you have an option. You can create a folder, or do a file upload, or upload an entire folder. But once you have the images installed, then the next thing you need to do is you need to get your URL endpoint. So if you click on that, it gives you this URL endpoint. But if you click on that as well, and then just here you have a small copy icon, and if you click on that, it'll copy your URL. Your URL consists of the address https ik imagekit.io, and then you're given an ID. Your ID will be different from mine. Use your own ID. Once you've copied your URL endpoint, then we can go back to script.js, and then inside here I can replace this bit with, if I copy it, and then there's the file large images, and the same down here. Place this with that, and then large images for the folder I've got. If you haven't put yours in a separate folder, then you just miss out this large images, and you just go have your endpoint, and then the address. And the other thing I've done is I've called these pick, each one pick dash number. So this would be pick dash number and pick. So now if I go back to imagekit, it's not working. Go back to script.js. Got one too many E here. That's it. Like that. There we have it. So that's working. If I go into DevTools, expand that, I go to the Network tab. So now let's look at the size of the images we have and notice the format. They are WebP files and much smaller. The files were uploaded were in megabytes, whereas most of these WebP files are kilobytes in size. As an example, I'll go back to imagekit, and if I click on this image, which is pick 5, and right click on it and click details, I get the size of the image, which is 14.2 megabytes. And the name of the file is pick 5. So if I go back here and look at pick 5, well, the WebP file that's downloaded is 575 kilobytes. So it's quite a bit smaller. But I can do better still by going to using src set. So if I go back to script.js, and here I'm going to put tr colon w600, and this will mean that it'll download the 600 pixel width images for the gallery, and then each image I can make this tr colon w800 to get an 800 image, and then I can do selected image.src set equals, and then https colon ik imagekit.io uvm6 rnwto tr colon w400 large images slash pick dash I dot jpg, and then copy this, copy it down, Control V, and make the next one 800, and that needs to have 400 W, and a comma. This needs to have 800 W, and then a comma. This is for 800 width, and then copy this down. Now this will be 1200. And 1200 widths. So to explain this a bit, imagekit will dynamically give us images of different sizes. So for the first one, if it's 400 pixels in width, if the screen is 400 pixels in width, then it will give us the 400 pixel image. And if the screen is 800 pixels in width, it'll give us the 800 pixel image. And if it's larger, it will give us the 1200 pixel image. These need to have a dollar in front of them. Dollar, dollar, dollar. So now we can test that. Go to Chrome Tools and refresh, and if I mouse over this, you can see got the 600 image came down as we required, and we've got the screen set to over 1200. So if I click on this, I get the image, and I've got the 1200 image. If I reduce the size of the screen, I get the 800 image. And if I reduce it to below 400, that's 387, and refresh, I get the 400 image. So the next thing I need to do is to test this at different device pixel ratios. At the moment, the device pixel ratio is set to 1. And if I refresh this, choose an image, and mouse over it, I got the 400 pixel image. If I change this to 2, and then refresh it, get the image again, this time it's 800 because it's device pixel ratio 2. Now if I go to 3, I should get the 1200 image. And I do. So that's all working as well. So you see how you can use imagekit to make your website deliver the correct size image for the size of your user's display and the device pixel ratio. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please subscribe for more.